Hi, this is Prav from Love of All Things Massage, and today I'm teaching a class in COVID, loss, grief, and trauma. But the good news is we're going to focus on bringing you to a place of joy and centeredness. Okay, so let's get started. Now, one of the best things that you can do if you find yourself in the midst of feeling anxiety or trauma is to start with a breathing exercise. So, can you sit up straight in the chair? Feet on the floor. Great. Now, because I'm with her, I'm going to be touching her. Now, if you're with a partner, you can touch your partner. But if you're alone, this is an excellent exercise to do also. Okay, so inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do this 4 times total. So 3 more times. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. It's so uncomfortable. Yeah, I know, because you don't know how to do it. Now, if you can't breathe just through your nose or just through your mouth, you breathe however you can. But for the next 2 breaths, we're going to ask her to inhale through her nose and exhale through her mouth. Okay, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the last time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, she had trouble with the inhaling through her nose. If you're having trouble like that, don't do it. So to do that, let's just do it once where we inhale through our mouths and exhale through our mouths. Okay. Inhale through your mouth.
That?
Yeah.
Okay.
So inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 3, 2, 3, 4. Great. And that is a wonderful thing to do first thing in the morning when you wake up every day. But it's also good to do when you're feeling stress or anxiety. If a panic attack or an anxiety attack is coming on, then I'd like you to try to do this. Okay, it's really, really good for you. Okay, now, when you're with a friend, and again, even when you're alone, it's important to remember what to do to relax yourself. Okay? Holding your head here. And now I'm also holding the back of her head. And we're going to go through parts of the body that help people to calm down. Okay? So her head, and I'm going to ask her to lean her head on my chest. You can lay on a pillow and just hold your own head if that feels comfortable. Now the important thing to do here is to do it for as long as it feels comfortable. So it can be 5 seconds or 30 seconds or 5 minutes.
You need to back up.
There we go. It's always good to get feedback from your loved one or your friend. Now, I'm going to keep a hand on top of her head, and I'm going to put my other hand here on her throat. I'm just holding the space there so that she can relax and that she knows that I'm with her. Now, something you can do if you're alone or if you're with somebody is put a nice cool towel over the throat or on the top of your head. I think what we're trying to do here mostly is get the energy to leave the head. We're going to be working down the body so that these feelings can leave your head and have a way to stop causing so much disruption in your brain. Okay. Now, at any time, feel free to stop this tape, pause it, and continue to do what you're doing. But I'm going to move on to the next thing. The next thing that we're going to do is show you how to remove energy down the body. It's a release point in the chest. So let me show you. I have to warn you, I'm not an artist. I am, but I've made a little drawing back there, and I'm going to explain to you what we're talking about. The points I'm going to ask you to press down are what's known as the high points of the trapezius. If you've ever lifted weights, you know what the trapezius is, right? But if you don't, it's up along here, and it's the high point. And I thought drawing might help. So this is the back of the head, and this is supposed to be the neck. The high point of the shoulders. Usually there's like a little up and then down, and it's a muscle. Okay, so up and down. And you should be able to see it or feel it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is show you the high point of the trapezius on her actual body, which is easy to do because of what she's wearing. So I'm going down her neck all the way to her shoulder, and as I'm feeling along there, I feel this spot right here. Now you can move around, and do you feel that? Mm-hmm. And do you feel this?
Ow.
Ooh. See, I think I got it. Okay, now I'm not going to just poke her and make her hurt. That's not the point here. But I am going to put my hands there. And I'm going to, actually, I'm going to put my forearms there. Oh, does that hurt?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do it lighter so that it doesn't hurt her. You can put your head back on me if you like. And this is very comforting. And then I'm just going to take my hands and rock along the high point here. It's a letting go place. It can be very tender, and if it's tender, that means that there is some letting go that needs to be done, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual. And again, you can do this for 5 seconds, 30 seconds, or for 5 minutes. I think I've even had, I do remember I had a client and he wanted me to do this for him for 40 minutes. Now what, is this the new high point? And there, okay. So hers has moved. You'll find the stress points in the body do move as you're working on somebody. And it's good to get them to breathe. And the best way to get your friend to breathe is to inhale and exhale yourself. So I'm going to do that. And usually the person you're working with will get the hint. If not, you can say, okay, copy me. Please inhale. And exhale. Good. So we're really dealing with matters of the heart here. If you've lost a friend, or you're sensitive to all the trauma that's been going on in the world the past few months, there's a chance that your heart is hurting. And a way to get your heart to open up is to put your hand over it. It's okay to go down the middle even though the heart's on the left-hand side. It just makes things less awkward. And so I'm going to put my hand here. We'll do this again when I have her laying down, but there are other things for me to show you while we're sitting up. So there's a part of the back of your head that helps to release your head from your body. Okay, a lot of people, especially those under stress, trauma, anxiety, day-to-day living, feel like they have to just hold their head on or it's going to fall off and roll onto the floor and get taken out in the trash. I don't know, but we all do it. And the way to help somebody separate from their thoughts, from a moment of intense anxiety, I'm going to show it to you on my drawing board so that you see what I'm saying, because everybody has hair, right? So here is the bottom of the head and the top of the neck. Now we're going to do this from behind. You'll see it in a little bit, but there's a space right here where it doesn't feel like there's anything, and that's one of the places we're going to be working on. So right here, 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 and then an inch above that on the scalp is where we'll also be working. So here, don't take my drawings too literally. I'm only trying to show you where we're working, not how we're working. So it's not 4 arrows, it's not just 4 places. We're going to go from one side to the middle and the other side to the middle. And then we're going to do the same on the inch up on the scalp. So I want to tell you, I used to have an acupuncturist, and she would put needles in the back of my neck. And we were very good friends, and she would leave me for an hour or 2. But that time would go by so quickly, it felt like it was 5 minutes. It was as though I was meditating or in some other kind of space. And when I realized that the needles did that, I decided to try it with my fingers, and it really works well with clients and friends. So let me show you. I'm going to take my thumb. When I start this, I'm going to be pushing into her scalp. I'm going to find that like empty space area, push into her skull. But my hand has to be on her forehead. Otherwise, she's going to drop forward or she's going to work against you. And you don't want your partner to be working against you. Okay? Start right under her ear. But I'm going to look for that area where it feels like there's nothing. It's like I can feel her neck, I can feel her scalp, but there's nothing in the middle. And I'm just going to push on it. And then move a little bit in towards the center. So you'll have to forgive me, my breathing is just natural. I've been doing this for 28 years, so that's what I do. You can follow along or you can ignore it. It's the touch that's the most important thing. And if you look, you can barely see my thumb. Here we go. That's where I am right now. Now we're going to move just a little further in towards the center and push into that place that feels like there's air. And then I'm going to move right into the center of her skull. Now there's still that space there, but I can push up into her skull. Now what this usually does with somebody, as I said, it separates their brain from their body. So if they're talking a lot, this is usually when they'll stop talking. If they're crying, it's usually when they'll stop crying. They don't have to stop crying. There's no control over that. But this move calms people so much, and it gets them to think about other things. I'm going to the other side of her body. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm looking for that little space where there's no, I'm going to turn her head to the side just so you can see. Right here. Feels like there's air. It feels like there's nothing. I don't feel muscle. I don't feel bones. It's just but there's stuff there. There are muscles, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. And then we're going to move over about, I think I'm moving over about a half an inch, maybe an inch. Sometimes I slide across if there is no hair that for me to pull, and no, it's a little oily or my fingers can move. But in general, I like to lift my finger off and then place it back. So another half inch. Now the reason that we do an inch up from there is because every muscle in the entire back, everything starts at the top of the head, all the back muscles, a lot of the shoulder muscles start up here in the head, go all the way down the back to the tailbone and beyond. Okay? So I go an inch up, and I start in the same place, but an inch higher. And then I move over. And a little over. The nice thing is, if you're receiving this, you're receiving this wonderful energy. And another thing is that the person that's giving it to you is really in tune with you and your body and your feelings. And they're actually receiving energy, good energy. They're relaxing also. And right in the middle of her head. So when I do this to people, I also relax. Right, so now to the other side. Starting the same spot, but 1 inch higher. And I really do love this. If there was one thing that I wanted from a massage, this move would be it. Because, as I said, it separates the head from the body and relaxes you completely. So this is what I would choose. And it relaxes the back completely. I keep moving in towards her head. And I'm at the center. So thank you for putting up with my beautiful artwork. I just want to show you how to have somebody on the bed. Now you can do this on what we just did, of course, was on a chair or a couch. What we're going to do now is on the floor. You can throw any cushions on the floor. You can do this on a couch or a bed, a couch without arms, or a bed. Now I've just taken my weighted blanket here because it's thick, and I'm going to cover it with a sheet. So we have her all tucked in here, and she would like a blanket. Now a blanket's not necessary if you're warm enough, but she's feeling a little chilly, so we're going to do that. So you can do this on the bed or on the couch also. We're doing it on the floor because I just want to teach things that are easiest for people to learn. Do you know what the sacrum is? The sacrum is the bone on the bottom of the back. So there's the spine that goes along here. You get down here and there's this triangle-shaped bone. And your hand fits on it really well. Okay, so take a minute and find that bone. First, put your hand lightly on that bone and just start rocking gently. This is another movement that allows the spine to relax, the hips to relax, the brain to relax. And I have a feeling that for those of us who are parents, this is one of the things that we did to our children to get them to sleep. Now you can move more. You can make larger movements in the hips. You can take 2 hands and really get them moving. And this is how I recommend you start if you're going to be working laying down. right here on the sacrum. And then you slowly move your hands up the body. Your hand can go over their spine. Your hand can go over their spine, but you're really moving their whole back side to side. And if that's difficult, it means that your partner has a tight back and needs a massage and to stretch. You can move all the way up. We're going to do this slowly. I just noticed my toes were hanging out, so I'm bringing them back in. And up here. And here. Now just remember, if there's anything that you really enjoy doing, or anything that your partner is really enjoying, just pause the video and keep doing it until you feel you're finished, and then you can come back to the next part. Another really nice thing to do is to rock the entire back at once. Now, what I showed you in the chair can be done here as well, and it's actually a bit easier because you can put your fingers right there. You can actually, I use my thumb. So, here's my thumb, and I'm looking for that place where there's that gap, and I found it. Now I'm going to push up into her skull. Now if you look at my thumb, it's perfectly straight. I don't want you getting hurt, so don't twist and don't do this. Keep it straight. Okay. You'll be able to put as much pressure as you need, and it could be very light pressure or very deep pressure, but you'll be able to adjust it more easily with your body. So I'm pretending to do this now because we already did it standing up. So if you actually want to do it lying down, then you can pause the tape, do it, and then return. Okay, I'm really bad at pretending. I just get stuck doing it. Does that hurt?
It hurts my jaw when you do it.
Oh, okay. All right, and now we're going to have her turn over.
Okay, turn. Are you still cold?
Put this under your hand. So what we've done so far are some pretty basic massage techniques to help relax somebody and get them back into their body and to cut off the thoughts that might be going through their heads. Now we're going to do some work that some people, it'll just center them, and for others it might bring up emotions. If your partner starts to cry or they have any feelings that bring tears to their eyes, or they laugh, or they need to talk, it's okay. You just tell them, it's okay, you do what you need to do, I'm here. Alright? So, I'm going to start by placing my hand on her forehead. And just getting to know her a bit. I'm going to switch hands just because of camera angles. And then I'm going to put a hand over her heart. And again, this is something that you can do for as long as you want, or for as short a time as you want. Hold it. Allow the space. Now, for some reason, we really do hold a lot of emotion in our heart, especially when we lose somebody, or we're surrounded by people who are losing friends, or we're in a situation ourselves. Like first responders in hospitals or ambulances must really, even if this isn't happening to them, it's happening around them so much that their hearts are either overprotected or overly exposed. And what this helps to do is to allow their heart to feel, but to filter what's going on. And if you've lost somebody, this might be a time when you feel them near you or you feel nothing. Whatever you feel, it's all right. This is your time. Now, another place we hold emotions and we don't know it particularly is our belly. So have your friend laid with their palms up and your hand on their belly. You can choose to either put your hand on their forehead, on their throat, or on their heart. Just hold. We're holding a space. So when your friend or your love or your acquaintance is lying on the floor, always ask them to put their palms up. Okay? Now, you can just hold the hand like this to give comfort. If you know them very well or you just feel more comfortable, you can do it like this. And you can lean your body weight into it. Our hands hold a lot of emotion, so I would recommend you take the arm from the wrist and you pull their arm from the wrist. See? And then what I like to do is just pull one finger and then go to the pinky, pull the finger, index finger, pull the finger, ring finger, just pull it, and the center finger. There we go. I'm going to do this on the other side so that I can share it with you. So I'm starting by holding her hand. Actually, my fingers are going up toward her, are pointing this way. I'm holding this way. And I'm using my body weight. Just adds a bit of gravity to a world that might feel a little ethereal or surreal. And now I'm going to pull on her fingers. I'm going to start with her pinky this time. Now you can start with the pinky or the thumb. And one. And thumb. And ring finger. And index finger. And middle finger. And I'm going to hold her stomach for a minute. And the reason I'm doing that is because I just feel like it. So take a moment while we're doing this and go back to something that you feel your friend needs. I feel as though she needs stomach. I'm actually going to say, can you breathe into my hand? And down. Exhale. Good. And the heart and the stomach. Why? I don't really know why. It's okay not to know why you're doing something. If it feels good to do it and your friend is accepting of it, then fantastic. And then sometimes they'll tell you, oh, when you did that, it was really amazing because ... And it's all because you followed your intuition. We're almost done with this class. I have 2 more things to show you. Take this. No. I think she's already falling asleep. It feels delightful to have your head cradled in somebody's hands. So I'm just going to put my hands, scoop under her, take her skull, lift it off the ground so you can see what I'm doing. And she's very relaxed. She's letting me do all the work. That's good. And just holding her head. And then I might just pull her up a little bit using my body weight. I'm going to go under her neck now. And just wait. And then I'm going to lift up her head by her neck. Make sure that that nice curve, the curve of the neck is exaggerated for a second. And then pull back. And then I'm going to put her pillow back under her head so that she can stay comfortable. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is a way of lovingly waking up your friend. They might be in a very deep meditation, they might have fallen asleep, they might be snoring if you're who knows. But I find this is a very grounding and yet gentle way of letting them know that you're done with this particular treatment. Everything else I do, I end at the head. And I want you to feel free to end any way you feel like. If something has touched you and moved you, or if you're in a session with somebody and you feel like, okay, I need to end by holding their forehead or just cradling their head in my hands, that's absolutely fine. Today, I feel as though she needs this in order to finish the class. All right, so I have moved her because we are no longer going to be working on her face or her stomach. But I have uncovered her feet. And as I said, this is how I feel like she needs to end today. This isn't how I would normally end. So again, go with what you're feeling, talk to your friend, see what they want. There's no wrong way to do this. I'm going to pick her up by, I'm going to pick her foot up by the ankle, and then I'm going to pick the other one up. I'm just going to rock from side to side. We have some sunlight coming through, that's really pretty. Side to side. And like a rocking horse. And I'm going to start just kind of moving up and down, pushing and pulling. And then I'm going to get up on my knees. Push and pull. Now this is a really nice way to get people's body in line with their spine. It's a nice way to wake somebody up without saying goodbye. And you can do this for as long as you want. You can kind of move the feet side to side, up and down. Just a little bit of playfulness at the end. You can pull on the heels, push on the heels, and her body bounces back all by itself. Now, I'm a massage therapist by trade, so I tend to like to leave my clients in a space where they have some privacy. With your friend, you're flexible. But since I know her feet are cold, I'm going to take the blanket and cover her feet. I'm going to turn her into a little burrito. Why? Just because I feel like it. There. So if I had an eye pillow, I would use that. I would put it over her eyes. And I do have eye pillows. So I would put an eye pillow over her eyes. You can do that with a piece of tissue. If you have an eye pillow, feel free to use it. A sock with lentils in it. Make sure it's clean. And it just feels like a nice light pressure on the eyes. Now, if you don't end by basically putting your friend to sleep, that's fine too. You can just wake up slowly. You can let them come out of this slowly. You might end in the chair. That's fine if you need to do this at work, or you need to do it at a playground or at a friend's house. You can just do, if you do even what you did in the chair, you're really good.